This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2020 Palomino Solaire Model 317 BHSK. Okay, so here I am at the rear of the trailer. You do have a grill with this trailer. This is the grill rack that it hangs on. And you also get a connecting LP hose that will plug into this quick connect right here, right? And then it will connect to your grill. So you have to plug the grill in when you use it. Keep that in mind. Excuse my camera work here. There we go. So you have a refrigerator and a sink here. Your grill line that I told you about is right there, so you know. Okay. Let me back up a little bit here. So this hole you see here. Let me look through it and verify. Yes. So if you follow that hole to the frame, let's see that. To the frame, there's a shaft with a pin through it. You can use a crank. They give you a crank with it, and you can actually put it on that shaft and crank the rear slide room in and out in an emergency. If you had some kind of failure or something, which is really rare, but nevertheless. Also, here's another one here that you can use for the front slide room. So it takes about 1,000 cranks, but it beats driving home with your slide out obviously. So yeah. It's a good thing. You have a power awning with an LED strip, outside speakers, you have a TV mount here, and you have antenna and power here. This is the service panel for your refrigerator. You don't really have to go in there, but this drain hose should always be hanging out to drain the condensation out. Also, this device here is a vent for the range hood. So if you're going to vent using the range hood, you turn the fan on, you want the baffle in here flapping freely. You can push it shut or pull it loose. So keep that in mind, that if you're going to vent, you want it to be the air to pass by that baffle. So pull it loose. Okay, so your stairs fold into the trailer obviously, but you can adjust the length of the legs by pulling this pin out. There's one on each side, okay, and you adjust it that way. You want to think that this piece here should be pretty much parallel with the threshold. If you have it sticky, like say you have the legs out longer and this sticks up on this angle, the door can bind up at the bottom. So keep in mind that you want to try to keep it like that, so you have to adjust it for the terrain a bit sometimes. You've got your hitch, which will show you when you how to work when you come to pick up the trailer. Your stabilizers, one on each corner with a 3/4 inch hex on it for a socket or a crank. You get here's the crank right here for that, right? And this crank here, with this end on it, is the one that I told you can crank the slide rooms with. So that's what that's for. Now the power tongue jack, also, if you pull this plug out of the top, there's a rubber plug right here. If you pull it out, if it happens to fail, you can pull it out and use that same crank, the 3/4 inch crank, to crank this manually. You could also use a socket with a ratchet wrench or whatever you want to use. But you can get hitched and unhitched if there was a power outage with it, or if it failed in some way, shape, or form. So that's a good thing to have also. Alrighty, although you'll probably never use it, and that's the fact. So the LP tanks, you get 2 LP tanks with a automatic changeover regulator. It just draws one tank down, then the next, back and forth. So basically when it's running, when you're using the furnace, like say, and you're drawing gas, you'll be able to hear which tank is pulling from. So, okay, deep cycle marine battery. This is your water fills. This is the city water, the most common way to get water to the trailer. You just hook up the hose there and you're all set. Now if you happen to go to a campground that does not have plumbing on the campsites, you can take this cap off and you can fill the onboard fresh water tank and then use the onboard pump to pump water. So even if you don't have city water, all the plumbing will work just like you do. So that's good. You're only going to use the tank if you don't have city water. That drain down there is the fresh water tank drain, if you can see it. Okay, your slide rooms, both Lippert slide rooms. Okay, so your cord here is a 30 amp, 30-foot cord. This is your water heater here. Okay, so you can see, let me get this down here. This particular one works on both gas and electric. First of all, it's winterized. The trailer's winterized, so there's antifreeze in the trailer, and the water heater's bypassed. You can see how the plug is out, so the tank is drained. This is the plug for it right here. See, there's the threads right there. Okay. Now, this switch right here, it's off right now. This switch controls the heating element that's behind this cover right here, the electric heating element. So to turn it on, you got to turn that switch on. You never turn that on, or the gas for that matter, when the water heater tank is empty. You always have to make sure you put water in it and it's full before you turn the either energy source on to heat water, or else you'll damage it. So always make sure you have water in it. Outside shower, hitch or utility light, cable and satellite through. And this is the black tank flush. Let me tell you about that. Okay. So, here are your dump valves here. You got gray on this side for sink and shower water. You've got black here next to it for toilet water and waste. Then you have another gray one over there. So, when you hook your hose up here, you'll dump the black tank first. It's for toilet water and waste. Dump that one first, then dump the gray one, because it's cleaner water than the black water, right? Then if you leave the black valve open, you can hook your hose at the dump station up to the black tank flush here, right? And you turn on the water and it sprays out the inside of your black tank and cleans off your sensors. It's a good thing to do. So if you do that, the only thing to remember is you want the black tank valve to be open so too much pressure doesn't build up. All right, so, excuse me. This housing tells us that we're pre-wired for a backup camera, so you can install a backup camera or we can do it for you. This ladder allows you to get on the roof very easily, so you want to have yourself or someone go up there every 90 days or so and look around, make sure there's no separation or cracking at any of the sealant up there, that no road debris flipped up there and damaged the roof, or a low branch, that sort of thing, damaged one of the vent covers or something. You're just going to inspect it to make sure it's in good shape. That's a very important thing to do. You figure in the spring, in the middle of the summer, and then in the fall, have it checked out. Okay. Now we'll go inside here. We're cleaning up a bit here for you so you can see some cleaning supplies. Okay. So this is your control panel here. Your slide room here, 1 and 2. Here we'll just show you this. See how it comes up over the floor? Hopefully you can see that. And drops into place, going out. Then you hear that ratcheting sound. Well, when you're coming in or out, you'll hear that ratcheting sound. You want to basically, as soon as you hear that, you just take your finger off the button. That just keeps it from overextending or over retracting. Your awning here, you can extend it this way. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. So the main thing to remember about the awning is never leave it out unattended. If you're going to leave the campsite, roll it in, because it's a huge awning and the wind can build up underneath it very quickly and damage it. So, all right, so I showed you that to light the water heater, the electric switch on the lower left-hand corner of the water heater. Well, this is how you would light it on gas, right there. This is how you turn on your water pump that I told you about to pump water out of your freshwater tank. You also use that water pump to winterize the trailer. Batteries charged, fresh water is empty, black is empty, gray 1 is empty, and gray 2 is empty. There is no gray 3 on this one that I know of. It should just be 2 of them, I believe. They use a standardized panel, so sometimes they'll have an extra one. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get this out of the way a little bit here. This device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is. There's a test button on it if you ever want to push it to make sure it's working. If it goes off, obviously you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off, and figure out what's going on. Alrighty, so over here we got your radio, and there's a remote for it. Basically, it's obviously a radio. Then it plays discs too, CDs and DVDs, right? You can stream off this USB right here. Also, you can hook up with Bluetooth with your phone or tablet, so you can stream that way. You have 2 speaker zones. 1 is inside, 2 is outside. So there's a lot you can do with it. It's if you hang a TV here, then you can always run this through the TV also. So obviously, if you're going to play DVDs, you would need to do that anyway. So you can do that no problem. Your couch jackknifes flat. You can take these 2 posts out and drop it down the tabletop down to the cleats by the cushions, and you got another bed. Okay. Microwave works like any other microwave. This is your vent, your range hood that I talked about. Remember about the baffle outside. Okay. It's got a light there. Your range. Hopefully he's got the gas on. If not, I'll just walk you through it. But basically, this is the sparker right here. So you got to turn clockwise to spark it. So you just basically go to speed. Looks like he's got it shut off. Let me go up front and just so you can see it anyway. Let me turn it on. Okay. Okay. Okay, back inside. Let's see what we got here now. There we go. So, this knob here, obviously you light it that way. I'm going to adjust this a bit for you before you pick it up, because it's not, you shouldn't have to click it twice. That one's going now. Okay, so the oven is a little bit different. There's a pilot light down here. Whereas this one does not have one. So what you need is a grill lighter on this one. And at the very back there's a pilot light. I don't know if you can see it back there. I see my finger pointing towards it. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the picture or the pilot marker right here. If you can see it. Depress it. Then you're going to light the light light the pilot light with a grill type lighter with a long neck on it. Once it lights, you're going to still be holding this in for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. You go to operating temperature. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light, so you have to relight it each time. Okay. This device down here is the power converter. It converts 110 AC to 12 volt DC. Let me see here. See if we can get it open. So you have regular circuit breakers like you have at home right here, and they're labeled. Then it converts the power to DC, 12 volt DC over here. You've got regular automotive type 12 volt fuses, and they're labeled. If they ever blow, they'll actually light up and they glow through that plastic. Plus, when you're plugged in, this will always charge your battery. It'll send 12 volts up to your battery and keep it charged. Alright, so your refrigerator is gas absorption. Okay. This thing is called a thermistor. He doesn't have it in the clip right now. But let me just do it this way for you. I'm going to have to set the camera down for 1 second. Just take me a second to get it back in the clip here for you. Okay, let me get a hold of it. Okay, so the thermistor, the plastic piece is just a clip. The thermistor is inside the clip now that just holds it in place. Then you slide it onto a fin. Then the higher you go with it, like that, the cooler it is in the refrigerator. You see it's got a decal there. It shows you the higher you go, the cooler it gets. So generally you're going to have it up pretty much all the way. And if it gets cold outside, then you might have to bring it, turn it down so it doesn't frost up. But generally speaking, you're going to have it up pretty high. This will work. This refrigerator works on 110 AC or 12 volt DC. So keep in mind, this is on and off. Okay. That's gas. That's auto. Auto means electric. Basically, that means it'll always seek out electricity. If you can't find it, it'll switch to gas. Or if you have a power outage during the day or during the night, let's say, it'll sense that and switch over to gas so you don't spoil the food. So auto's generally the place to keep it. Alrighty. The bathroom, the sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. The toilet, you have to have water. That's antifreeze right there. You have to have water in the black tank before you start using it. Alright? So, there's a foot pedal there. So what you do, you'll have, when you step on the pedal, obviously when your water's hooked up, that'll be water spitting out of there, or shooting out of there. So when you get to the campground, you'll hook up your power and water, then you'll come inside and just step on the pedal, water will come swirling out, and you want to put about a gallon or so of water in there before you start using it. So that's, the bottom line is the black tank, which is directly below us here, has to have a little bit of water in it to start using it. Also, you've got a 3-speed fan, which is great. Always use the fan when you're using the shower because you want to pull the humidity out of the trailer. Okay. Bunk room. Okay, so this bunk folds down, obviously. This turns into, from a bed, it can turn into a couch, place to sit. Okay, another bunk here. And you could put a TV back or a TV bracket there. It's got the antenna and that sort of thing. Hook up power, so you can put a TV right there, and there's a room for other stuff down there, game machines or whatever you want. Okay. Great. So that pretty much covers that. That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so I mentioned outside that this comes with a grill. This is your grill and the rail that it hangs on. Okay. You have obviously a little storage under the bed. You also have, I'm trying to look around to see what we can see here. Obviously this piece spins around here, and you can use one TV if you want. You can spin it around and seat in the bedroom or the living room, or you can mount two. It's up to you. So, okay, and you have another vent up there, of course. Okay. Let me look around a bit here. See if I forgot anything. I think I've got it all. I'm going to look at that one burner there for you in a second. Okay, well, I think I've covered it all here. So thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Now, remember what I said about inspecting the roof? That's very important. And also remember I told you that this is winterized. There's antifreeze in the system, and the water heater is bypassed. Never light or turn on the water heater without water in the tank. Okay? Thank you.